You're watching the Arise News Channel's continuous coverage of the funeral of former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari. I am Rotu Sodiri.
And I am Bosin Amofaye. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome our viewers here in Nigeria and from around the world. A very special day, a day of mourning. Of course, officially, businesses and markets are closed for today as the government declares a public holiday to observe the burial of the two-time president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And of course, we've been in Katsina all day long.
In Daura as well.
In Daura, following proceedings with all the dignitaries that have arrived.
Yes.
President Tinubu is there, the governors, the ministers, the First Lady, and they've all, of course, headed over to Daura to pay their condolences and, of course, observe the last passing rites.
It's the biggest team, by the way. Don't forget, Rotus, that also not just government delegation. You have Africa's richest man, Nigerian-born, Aliko Dangote. Is also there, and a lot of others. So this is not just about being a president. Remember, he was one president who put the economic team together, right, which includes the likes of Aliko Dangote and others.
Lumelu,
Femi
Tedola, the like. All right, so we now join Arise News correspondent Ayo Adenaye in Daura, Katsina State, the hometown of former President Muhammadu Buhari, to bring us updates about the activities going on there. Ayo, great job. You've been there practically all day. Following things, it was much quieter earlier. You only had security earlier in the day, but now there's just a hustle and bustle of activity behind you. So, what's the latest?
Good afternoon, Boston. Good afternoon, Rotus over there. Well, earlier, one of the questions that was asked is how will the security operatives able to manage the situation? You know, earlier I told you that there was a change of plan. Initially, only were allowed, to where it was said that they will be the only one to gain entrance to where the burial, the funeral prayer will be held. And later there was a change of plan following the intervention of the Emir of Daura, His Royal Highness Umar Farouk, who felt that Buhari has lived for the poor, and the poor should be allowed in quotes, or the downtrodden should be allowed. The downtrodden should be allowed to witness this particular funeral prayer. So where I am standing presently is still at the helipad, where it can contain as much number of people who want to come into this particular place. If it was the previous place that was slated for the funeral prayer, this number of crowd that we have seen so far will have overwhelmed the place, and probably will have seen a stampede. But there is a change of plan, like I said, and we are here at the helipad, and people are already on ground. Some of them have already carried out their ablution to be able to prepare for the funeral prayer. But some minutes ago, state governors gradually begin to come into this premise, and this is giving us a signal that the motorcar bringing the remains of the former late President Muhammadu Buhari is already getting close. We have earlier the Governor of Kano State, Abba Yusuf, who arrived here with his entourage to monitor or to also pay his last respect. But from what we have seen also, I said it earlier, one of the questions that was asked was probably if the security operatives will be able to manage this crowd. But it seems, I said it earlier that they should be able to manage, but it seems things are not as planned again. Just by my left-hand side now, you can see the crowd before now is already getting so high. Initially, earlier when I did a live crossing, we have just, the place was very organized. Can we just pan to the left? The place was very, very organized. The security operatives were in the front of the people, they were behind them. But as dignitaries begin to troop into this place, the crowd can no longer hold their anxiousness. They can no longer hold, will I say, the joy, or they can no longer hold themselves to where they were standing. And they have to move gradually. They have to move. Even where was barricaded earlier, that the remains of the president will be dropped. The place has been blocked as we speak now. And you can see down there, you see an umbrella there, and that is the umbrella of the Emir of Daura, who is already stationed there to receive the remains of the late former president. But also we can see here, we can see the helicopters vicinity, moving around this particular area, probably for surveillance, and as expected, since the president of the country is expected here. So we've seen them here for like 15 to 20 minutes earlier, and they've been roving around this particular place where we are to see that, probably, like I say, for surveillance and to ensure that everywhere is well secured. But the whole community, I can say that it seems the whole community or the whole people in Daura are in this particular place to pay their last respect to a man whom they said has contributed immensely to the growth and development of not just Nigeria alone, but Daura town.
And Ayo, as everyone there is gathered, do you think that, because you said that security was going to have a bit of a, because of so many people that are there now, it looks like security might have a bit of a tough time organizing everyone. How confident are you that when the president's remains arrive, that orderliness will be maintained? Because I expect there'll be a big reaction when the convoy comes in and brings him in.
Yes, of course. Like I said it earlier, in fact, I was confident on that earlier when we spoke with Wimpe and with Etope. I told her, that they've been able to manage it. People are well stationed. But from what we have seen here, it seems like the people have just been left to themselves to, okay, since you really want to show your love to this person, go ahead. But just praying not to happen here is a stampede, because once the remains of the former late president arrives here, one thing I'm sure is that people, out of their apprehensiveness and everything, will want to just get closer. And we've seen it in the past that when dignitaries or persons who have contributed largely to the society, especially in northern part of the country, once their remains are brought to that community where they belong to, there is this kind of affection that people want to just touch their corpse. To them, they attach a meaning to it, which I might not be able to explain that meaning here. But for them, they felt like there is need for me, if only I can just touch the body of this person that is home. So we've seen it even right when the corpse are being raised, and which envisaging something like that may probably happen here. Everybody will just want to be the one to carry the corpse. So I am still waiting to see, and we're discussing it earlier with someone, and he said, well, maybe when the other security personnel arrived with the president, they would be able to control this crowd. But the crowd here, it's very, very huge. It's very, very much. It's very, very, and it will be very difficult for it to be managed. But like I said, we just hope there won't be a stampede in this particular location.
Ayo Adinaye, thank you so much. It's been a very a long day for you, and I'm sure there's still a bit more ahead. We'd like to see the president, the entourage, and other dignitaries who are coming in pay their respect, their last respect to the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, who just passed away. Is dearly loved by folks on the ground. We can see that he's been a home man, as the saying goes. He lived all his life over there in Daura, in Katsina State, perhaps with the exception when he was the president, when he was in Abuja, and a former military head of state when he was in Lagos, the Dodon barracks and all that. But I'm sure for most of the time, and he retired home very humbly into that same neighborhood, and so everyone sees him. They can go to his house. He provided some amenities in the environment, as you said. So he's in the manner of speaking, he can be described as a homeboy. So everyone loves him, the former president, very well over there. And as you said earlier in your report, he is a man whose politics and way of life really endeared him to there, and of course to other millions of Nigerians across the country, by the way, and around the world. I'm sure he's granted a lot of interviews, including the BBC and other international news channels, and they love speaking with him. If there's anyone to go to in the North when he was alive, it was him, because of his views when he was out of office as a military head of state, then later as a civilian president. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. We'll get back to you on some of your views, and then we move on from there. Thank you so much, Ayo Adinaye, in Daura, the location, the home of the Nigeria's former president, who is being buried today.